book of 1 Samuel, chapter 26, 27, and 28. Chapter 26. And the Ziphites came unto Saul to Gibeah, saying, Though not David hide himself in the hill of Hashilah, which is before Jeshimon. Then Saul arose and went down to the wilderness of Ziph, having 3,000 chosen men of Israel with him, to seek David in the wilderness of Ziph. And Saul pitched in the hill of Hashilah, which is before Heshimon, by the way. But David abode in the wilderness, and he saw that Saul came after him into the wilderness. David therefore sent out spies, and understood that Saul was come in very deed. And David arose and came to the place where Saul had pitched. And David beheld the place where Saul lay. And Abner the son of Ner, the captain of his host, and Saul lay in the trench, and the people pitched round about him. Then answered David and said to Ahimelech the Hittite, and to Abishai the son of Zeruiah, brother of Joab, saying, Who will go down with me to Saul to the camp? And Abishai said, I will go down with thee. So David and Abishai came to the people by night, and behold, Saul lay sleeping within the trench, and his spear stuck in the ground of his bolster. But Abner and the people lay round about him. Then said Abishai to David, God hath delivered thine enemy into thine hand this day. Now therefore let me smite him, I pray thee, with the spear even to the earth at once, and I will not smite him the second time. And David said to Abishai, Destroy him not, for who can stretch forth his hand against the Lord's anointed and be guiltless? David said furthermore, As the Lord liveth, the Lord, give me a second. Okay. And David said, Abishai, destroy him not, for who can stretch forth his hand against the Lord's anointed and be guiltless? And David said furthermore, As the Lord liveth, the Lord shall smite him, or his day shall come to die, or he shall descend into battle and perish. The Lord forbid that I should stretch forth mine hand against the Lord's anointed. But I pray thee, take thou now the spear that is at his bolster, and the cruse of water, and let us go. So David took the spear and the cruse of water from Saul's bolster, and they got them away. And no man saw it, nor knew it, neither awaked, for they were all asleep, because a deep sleep from the Lord was fallen upon them. Then David went over to the other side, and stood on the top of an hill afar off, a great space being between them. And David cried to the people and to Abner the son of Ner, saying, Answerest thou not, Abner? Then Abner answered and said, Who art thou that criest to the king? And David said to Abner, Art not thou a violent man? And who is like to thee in Israel? Wherefore then hast thou not kept thy lord the king? For there came one of the people in to destroy the king thy lord. This king is not good that thou hast done. This thing is not good that thou hast done. As the Lord liveth, ye are worth to die, because ye have not kept your master, the Lord's anointed. And now see where the king's spear is, and the cruse of water that was at his bolster. And Saul knew David's voice, and said, Is this thy voice, my son David? And David said, It is my voice, my lord, O king. And he said, Wherefore thou, my lord, thus pursue after his servant? For what have I done? Or what evil is in my hand? Now therefore I pray thee, let my lord the king hear the words of his servant. If the Lord have stirred thee up against me, let him accept an offering. But if they be the children of men, caused be they before the Lord, for they have driven me out this day from abiding in the inheritance of the Lord, saying, Go, serve other gods. Now therefore let not my blood fall to the earth before the face of the Lord. For the king of Israel is come out to seek a flea, as when one doth hunt a partridge in the mountains. Then said Saul, I have sinned. Return, my son David, for I will no more do thee harm, because my soul was precious in thine eyes this day. Behold, I have played the fool, and have erred exceedingly. And David answered and said, Behold the king's spear, and let one of the young men come over and fetch it. The Lord render to every man his righteousness and his faithfulness. For the Lord delivered thee into my hand today. But I will not stretch forth mine hand against the Lord's anointed. And behold, as thy life was much set by this day in mine eyes, so let my life be much set by in the eyes of the Lord, and let him deliver me out of all tribulation. Then Saul said to David, Blessed be thou, my son David. Thou shalt both do great things, and also shalt still prevail. So David went on his way, and Saul returned to his place. Chapter 27. And David said in his heart, I shall now perish one day by the hand of Saul. There is nothing better for me than that I should speedily escape into the land of the Philistines, and Saul shall despair of me, to seek me any more in any coast of Israel. So shall I escape out of his hand. And David arose, and he passed over with the 600 men that were with him unto Achish the son of Maach, king of Gath. And David dwelt with Achish at Gath, he and his men, every man with his household, even David with his 2 wives, Ahinoam and Jezreelites. Oh my God. Ahinoam the Jezreelites, and Abigail the Carmelites, Nabal's wife. And it was told Saul that David was fled to Gad, and he sought no more again for him. And David said unto Achish, If I have now found grace in thine eyes, let then give me a place in some town in the country, that I may dwell there. For why should thy servant dwell in the royal city with thee? Then Achish gave him Ziklag that day, wherefore Ziklag pertained unto the kings of Judah unto this day. And the time that David dwelt in the country of the Philistines was a full year and 4 months. And David and his men went up and invaded the Jeshurites and the Jerizerites and the Amalekites, for those nations were of old the inhabitants of the land, as thou goest to Shur, even unto the land of Egypt. And David smote the land, and left neither man nor woman alive, and took away the sheep and the oxen, and the ashes, and the camels, and the apparels, and returned, and came to Ashish. And Ashish said, Whither have ye made a road today? And David said, Against the south of Judah, and against the south of the Jerahmeelite, and against the south of the Jerahmeelites, and against the south of the Kenites. And David saved neither man nor woman alive, to bring tidings to Gath, saying, Lest they should tell on us, saying, So did David, and so will be his manner all the while he dwelt in the country of the Philistines. And Ashish believed David, saying, He had made his people Israel utterly to abhor him. Therefore he shall be my servant forever. Chapter 28. And it came to pass in those days that the Philistines gathered their armies together for warfare to fight with Israel. And Ashish said unto David, Now thou assuredly that thou shalt go out with me to battle, thou and thy men. And David said to Ashish, Surely thou shalt know what thy servant can do. And Ashish said to David, Therefore will I make thee keeper of mine hand forever. Now Samuel was dead, and all Israel had lamented him, and buried him in Ramah, even in his own city. And Saul had put away those that had familiar spirits and the wizards out of the land. And the Philistines gathered themselves together, and came and pitched in Shunem. And Saul gathered all Israel together, and they pitched in Gilboa. And when Saul saw the host of the Philistines, he was afraid, and his heart greatly trembled. And when Saul inquired of the Lord answered him not, neither by dreams, nor by Urim, nor by prophets. Then said Saul unto his servants, Seek me a woman that hath a familiar spirit, that I may go to her and inquire of her. And his servants said to him, Behold, there is a woman that hath a familiar spirit at Endor. And Saul disguised himself, and put on other raiment. And he went, and 2 men with him, and they came to the woman by night. And he said, I pray thee, divine unto me by the familiar spirit, and bring me him up, whom I shall name unto thee. And the woman said unto him, Behold, thou knowest what Saul hath done. Now he hath cut off those that have familiar spirits, and the wizards out of the land. Wherefore then layest thou a snare for my life, to cause me to die? And Saul swore to her by the Lord, saying, As the Lord liveth, there shall no punishment happen to thee for this thing. Then said the woman, Whom shall I bring up unto thee? And he said, Bring me up Samuel. And when the woman saw Samuel, she cried with a loud voice, And the woman spoke to Saul, saying, Why hast thou deceived me? For thou art Saul. And the king said unto her, Be not afraid, for what sawest thou? And the woman said unto Saul, I saw gods ascending out of the earth. And he said unto her, What form is he of? And she said, An old man came up, and he is covered with a mantle. And Saul perceived that it was Samuel, and he stopped with his face to the ground, and bowed himself. And Samuel said to Saul, Why hast thou disquieted me to bring me up? And Saul answered, I am sore distressed, for the Philistines make war against me, and God is departed from me, and answered me no more, neither by prophets nor by dreams. Therefore I have called thee, that thou mayst make known unto me what I shall do. Then said Samuel, Wherefore then dost thou ask of me, seeing the Lord is departed from thee, and is become thine enemy? And the Lord hath done to him as he spoke by me. For the Lord hath rent the kingdom out of thine hand, and give it to thy neighbor, even to David, because thou obeyest not the voice of the Lord, nor executest his fierce word upon Amalek. Therefore hath the Lord done this thing unto thee this day. Moreover, the Lord will also deliver Israel with thee into the hand of the Philistines, and tomorrow shalt thou and thy son be with me. Ha! The Lord also shall deliver the host of Israel into the hand of the Philistines. Then Saul fell astray all along on the earth, and was sore afraid because of the words of Samuel, and there was no strength in him, for he had eaten and no bread all the day, nor all the night. And the woman came unto Saul, and saw that he was sore troubled, and said unto him, Behold, thine handmaid hath obeyed thy voice, and I have put my life in my hand, and have hearkened unto thy words which thou spokest unto me. Now therefore I pray thee, hearken thou also unto the voice of thine handmaid, and let me set a morsel of bread before thee, and eat, that thou mayst have strength when thou goest on thy way. But he refused and said, I will not eat. But his servants together with the woman compelled him, and he hearkened unto their voice. So he arose from the earth and set up the bed. And the woman had a fat calf in the house, and she hasted and killed it, and took flour and kneaded it, and did bake unleavened bread thereof. And she brought it before Saul and before his servants, and they did eat. Then they rose up and went away that night. And this is the last verse of 1 Samuel chapter 28. That was my first time seeing something like that in the Bible. I wonder what will happen tomorrow on 1 Samuel chapter 29, 30, and 31. So, thank you for listening. Hello, Joy Days. Hello, David. How are you? Archive Deluxe. Hi. I'm warmly invited to you to read. Hello, number. I don't understand you, David. Only God can. Okay, anyway. Who my prophet, but all my just man. Blah, 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 blah. Hello, Nazir. Stop asking those questions, Nazir. Mikahil, how are you? Cameron B. Can someone tell me why I should? Cameron B. Oh, that's a good question. Lailis Zapat. So if he is always watching, even when... Oh my gosh, you guys are so funny. Good night. I'm reading the book of First Samuel. And hi, how are you? Cruz Coster. Hi. Estou bem com você está? Justin Cortez, my dear. I'm sorry for your loss. Catalyst. Hello, how are you? Not today. Why you guys want me to read? Okay, I'll read it just today. But it's just a verse. It's not a whole chapter. Just because of that. But anyway, you guys were asking interesting questions, but at the same time, they are not interesting. They're just interesting, not interesting. I hope that makes sense though. So you want me to read Psalm? Okay, happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones. I read it. I don't understand it because it's just one verse, but I hope you're happy. The hush mean ever heard birds from them? Nope. Catalyst. It's not. It's just our minds that cannot understand it. But anyway, that's why I'm here every day reading the Bible, just to try to understand it. And I hope you do the same, so you stop calling it messed up. Our minds are messed up. If you stop and think, it's like the world that we're in is brainwashing us in a way that whenever we open the Bible and read it, it goes against every single thing we believe outside the Bible. Like for someone who have never opened the Bible and was born, raised in this world where we are today, if the person opens the Bible, if that specific person's opened the Bible, he will think that the Bible is evil. So that's why I'm saying the world where we are is brainwashing us in a way that whenever we open the Bible and read it for ourselves, we will think that the Bible is messed up. But deep down, it's not the Bible. It's our minds who is messed up. Everything is messing up our minds lately. So yeah, let's read the Word of God and get it straight. That's why it's important to read the King James Version, because it is preserved. And avoid trying to read easy and simplified versions of the Bible, because whoever simplified it was not trying to share the true Word of God with you. It's a whole story. I don't like to talk about it, but it's necessary to talk about it. So guys, thank you for watching. I hope you were reading the Bible for yourselves, because the world is changing our perspectives. Like, do your Bible studies, ask questions, and get the answers by yourself. Don't expect your pastor or me to have all the answers for your questions, because I'm also looking, I'm also searching. I'm not the right person. So do your research, go and get truth, and know that the Bible is truth. Jesus Christ is real. He loves us. No matter how long it will take for me and you to truly believe in that, he will always be true. He will always be alive, because he is king. And that's what I stand by. No matter what you say, no matter what I say, he will always be king. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna end right here. I don't like to read comments anymore. Can see your leg, that's a good attitude. The Bible doesn't say it's okay to own people. The Bible is about being set free. Just because the Bible addresses things that go on the real life doesn't mean God approves it. Okay, it's a delight. Keep searching for the truth. Exactly. Thank you so much, everybody, for your comments. It means a lot. And that's right, just because the Bible talks about what we live on everyday life, it doesn't mean that God approves it. Even the Bible itself says. That's why it's important for us to read the whole Bible before we conclude it basing on one specific verse, because we cannot create a whole conclusion out of one verse. What our friend here did, he gave us Psalm 137 verse 9, and I did not understand. So it's important for me to go back and read the whole chapter of that specific book in order to understand before I conclude whatever I decide to conclude. Anyways, thank you so much. I hope to see you here tomorrow at the same time. Don't forget to read the Bible before you go to bed, and don't forget to pray, because it's through prayer that we communicate with God. No matter what you do, no matter if you ask your pastor, your mom, anybody to pray for you, you need to be able to open your mouth and pray to God and believe that He can listen to you and wait for the answer, because we are very, very, very quick to ignore the answers. God talks to us so many ways, but because we are not expecting to hear from Him, we ignore Him and we pretend that He will never. Actually, some don't even know, but it's just a communication. There's two ways. So talk to Him and expect answers coming from Him. Pray before you sleep. Okay, it's very important. And when you wake up as well, and before you eat. If I stay here talking about the importance of prayer, I think I will never end. So bye.